What's up, guys? It's Rob here, and this is probably going to be the toughest video that I've ever had to make. But there is an important lesson that I feel the need to get out there, and I'm going to try to do it justice. So, you guys all probably know that it was recently tax season, right? Taxes were due, and if you're a trader, then you also know that as you're making money trading, you're taking profits on some of the sales of stock that you make. You're not paying taxes while you're selling those stocks, right? The sales all add up, and at the end of the year, when taxes are due, that's when you pay all the taxes in one big lump sum. So it's not like working a job in the sense that they're slowly getting taken out of your paycheck. And so I ended up filing my taxes. They were due just a couple of days ago. And as I was filing these taxes, which I'm about to show you, I continued to see the more information that I filled out, the number rise and rise and rise. And to be honest, guys, I was getting very disgruntled with this as I was watching the amount that I owe just going up and up and up. And I'll show you guys right here what I ended up owing at the end of all of this. It ended up being about $19,623 that I owed to the government, the IRS. And that's what they wanted off of the trading profits. I mean, it's mostly trading profits that I had. I had some small business ventures, but overall, the vast majority of that tax money is due to trading profits, right? It's not from other sources. Now, unfortunately, I let this get the better of me, right? I was watching this number go up and up and up as I was filling out the taxes, and I was letting it disgruntle me. I was looking at that and thinking of all of the cool things that I could have either bought or invested in with that amount of money, and instead, at the end of all of that, the money just vanished out of my account and went off to the government, and I had no perceivable benefit from that. And while obviously I think the government probably takes too much tax, they do take it, and that's just the world that we're living in. Now, the lesson that I've learned from this is obviously there are things you can do to minimize your tax obligations, right? I did those things. I engaged in tax loss harvesting towards the end of the year, and that's all well and good. But at the end of the day, you're likely going to owe taxes if you're making a large amount of money to some extent, right? If it's income at the very least, right? If you are just owning equity in a business, like a lot of the billionaires out there are, then you're not going to owe as much as if you're actually collecting income. But most of you guys, I'm guessing, if you're watching this video, are interested in trading stocks and crypto. And at the end of the day, you're probably going to owe some taxes if you're making profits from that. So, what I realized while I was filling these out and becoming more and more upset watching that number rise and rise is that regardless of how high that number is, I am still very lucky that I'm in any kind of position where I can be paying that much, right? This was probably the largest expense that I've ever had. It's the largest amount of money that's just been taken out of my account in a single day, especially for something where I'm not making a purchase. It's not like I'm getting a new car. It's not like I'm making a down payment on a house. I'm getting nothing new from spending this money, right? It's just going out to the government, and that's part of the law. And I realized that it's actually very important to practice what you preach and to not let that get you down, to not let that ruin your day or your week. At the end of the day, I understand that we're all human. And when we see something like this going on, when we do end up having that much money taken from us in one way or another, it's probably going to get us down for some period of time. But the important thing is that you focus on not letting it get you down all that much and realize that you're in a very good position, that you're in a very good situation if you have that much money that people can take from you and have it not make too sizable of a dent, right? If it's not completely bankrupting you, you're pretty lucky, especially if you don't have to actually sell any of your investments. If you've already somewhat planned out to have a somewhat large tax bill, as I had, and you just have some cash sitting on the sidelines. I mean, the funny part of this is I already knew that my tax bill was going to be big. I had the cash sitting on the sidelines. I just didn't want to actually click that button and pay it, despite having the cash ready to go. I would have much rather used that cash on something else. But at the end of the day, that's what had to happen, right? The government has to get their pound of flesh. And I did learn the important lesson of not letting it bother me for too long, right? It was probably the toughest instance of actually practicing having a somewhat peaceful outlook towards these things that I've ever had to go through. Right, this is obviously the biggest bill that I've ever had to pay, and I can only hope that in the future I'm going to have to pay bills that are much bigger. Now, if you guys have made any profits trading, you probably have to pay bills maybe bigger than this, maybe smaller than this. And I remember for many years, I did not actually have to pay any bills, and I consider myself very lucky. But I now realize that while I have to pay this large bill, I'm actually a whole lot luckier and more well off than than I was in the past now, right? I'm much better off now that I am paying these large bills than I was in the past, because in the past, I wasn't making any money to actually pay taxes on. And while you didn't have the sting of having to pay those taxes, you weren't actually engaging in any profitable activities, right? So if you guys do not have much taxes that you owe, well, you're probably in the right place, right? This is a channel dedicated to helping you guys learn about making money. So you're in the right place. All you got to do is click subscribe. The channel's dedicated essentially to helping people figure out how to get to the point that I'm at, and to encourage people to come along with me where I plan on going. So if you guys are interested in that, feel free to subscribe to the channel. And other than that, guys, keep in mind, none of this is tax or financial advice. These are just my opinions, my personal thoughts on the issue. And other than that, have a great day. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.